Would you vote for government shutdown if Planned Parenthood is not defunded?
I will not vote for a government shutdown to defund Planned Parenthood. I am absolutely on the record for saying I am 100% for defunding Planned Parenthood, but I do not want to shut down the government. It's a process that, as you said, affects every single agency out there. It affects the people that are receiving paychecks out there. And I can tell you this, you know, I've been out to Planned Parenthood rallies across the state since we've been battling this issue. And the thing that I find across the board is that this is not just an issue about women's rights. I am all for every woman having the opportunity to do what they want with their body. But as it pertains to the life of an unborn child, I don't think anybody has the right to play God.
Mr. Domino, same question there. They've been on the hot seat over.
The state's constitution is very clear. Article 1, Section 9, it's up to the Congress to pass a budget. If the president chooses to veto that budget and close down the government, that's his choice. The other thing I don't like is I keep hearing this term defunding, defunding. It's Congress that funds stuff. If we choose not to put in the budget, we're not defunding anything. We're just not spending that money on it. So I would say, just as I said last time, you didn't catch the nuance, these are political issues that have got to be resolved. And if the man in the White House says it's got to be my way or the highway, in the face of opposition from most of the voters, then we've got a real constitutional issue. But Congress cannot vote to shut down the government. Only the president can by vetoing the budget.
Dr. King?
Well, this either or is really, really hard. Now, we as Republicans, myself as a strong Christian, we should not be paying for abortions. Absolutely not. So the either or makes it very difficult for us, and the problem is that we do not want to shut down the government. Again, that's irresponsible, and it will hurt national security. But on the other side of the coin, there has to be some politicking here. There must be a way to reach a compromise whereby these abortions are not paid with tax dollars.
No. That's the same argument that these people have been using for the last 20 years. That's exactly right. Thank you. That's where I was getting to next. So here's what we have to do. We have to fund individual agencies. If you know Congress, that's what happens. You fund individual agencies and freeze the budgets for those agencies. Not on what they're supposed to spend next year, but what they spent this year. All right? That's how you control the budget. We should present bills to our president and have them rejected. Our Congress doesn't seem to have the ability to do that. And that's what we should demand of the people that we elect to our public office. Have a little backbone. Let's challenge this president. Let's take back the authority of setting budgets that the Congress is endowed with, not the president.
Yes.
And that's how you handle those issues.
Yes.
There's a study out that says that 53% of women felt like they were forced to have an abortion by another person, like a significant other or someone that they knew. 65% felt like they were forced to have the abortion because of the circumstances that they were in. 83% in that study said that if anyone, one other person or had encouraged them, they would not have had an abortion. But to me, marry that with the fact that many women who, after they've had an abortion, wish that they had not have had one. And I ask you, is being pro-choice being pro-abortion? I would definitely vote to defund Planned Parenthood. And again, to me, this is another example of how the government governs by crisis. We shouldn't wait till we have videos of Planned Parenthood selling body parts before we address this issue.
The federal government supporting an organization that sells baby body parts is the most glaring in-your-face example we could ask for of Washington being broken. When we step back and we look at what we're dealing with here, we have a fundamental question about what the role of the government is. The premise of the question assumes that because something was funded last year, we're just going to go ahead and keep funding it forever, in perpetuity. And that if there's ever a time when we don't, that we're risking shutting down the government in advance of that ideal. And that's the problem. Our government is in the business of doing 100 things it shouldn't be doing, and as a result, it's neglecting the key functions that it's supposed to be serving. I would absolutely vote to defund Planned Parenthood, but I take issue with the premise of the question again, which is that you're presuming a certain point in a negotiation, and you're presuming that there's no way to make a bargain to make a better deal, and that's fundamentally incorrect. We need to draw a line in the sand, and we need to dig our heels in, and we need to be fighting to make sure the government is not doing 100 things that it shouldn't be
You're
doing,
good.
including
Sir,
selling body
sir,
parts
thank
and
you.
funding the sale of body parts.